Hey guys, we're going to take a look at some new Forge mods today for the latest version of Minecraft. It's been a little over a month since I've done one of these videos, and you can download any of these mods from the description below. Duckling adds 2 ducks into Minecraft, which are the white duck and the mallard. They're pretty cute, and you have the best chance of finding them inside of a river biome. In a swamp biome, you might find a quackling, which is much larger. You can right-click to trade with them, and they'll trade you an assortment of items for emeralds. Primal Reservation aims to raise awareness of the illegal hunting of endangered species. The first creature that's included is the Illager Hunter, which attacks other creatures. It has a blowgun which can drop, as well as poisonous darts. 11 other animals are included, like the Bengal tiger, Asian elephant, Iberian lynx, mountain gorilla, Tasmanian devil, and the dodo bird. These animals can be found spawning throughout different biomes, and they have some of their own behaviors and effects. As an example, the Sumatran orangutan has a chance to apply the bone meal effect so that it reforests, or you can feed salmon to Hawaiian monk seal to have a chance of receiving items like seagrass, kelp, nautilus shells, or hearts of the sea. This next mod adds an assortment of crabs into Minecraft, which are themed around different minerals. There's 15 in total and includes minerals like diamonds, emeralds, quartz, ancient debris, copper, and more. There's 2 ways to get a resource from a crab, and the first is by killing it with a weapon. Otherwise, you can just right-click it with a pickaxe instead, and having the fortune enchantment applied will increase the number that's dropped. Mine Pop adds over 50 Funko Pops into the game, which you can collect. They fall under different collections too, like Minecraft, Naruto, Dragon Ball, YouTubers, Marvel, and DC. To use the mod, craft a pop box from an armor stand and dies. When you place it down, you'll be able to interact with it to choose a collection, with the Funko you receive being random. Flowery Structures is going to add some new structures which improve on the vanilla experience, without making it feel too unrealistic. There's just over 10 structures currently, which includes rafts, hot air balloons, wells, small dungeons, jungle seats, and a few more. Some structures will have a few variants depending on the biome they spawn in, and some of them will have chests with loot in too. I've mentioned mods like this a few times, but Friends and Foes has been updated to work on Forge. With it installed, you'll find copper golems, glares, mooblooms, illusioners, and iceologers spawning in your world. Some have their own structures, like the iceologer cabin or the illusioner shack. In villages, you can find a beekeeper spawning too, with their own trades. We're going to see more changes coming in the future as the developer has plans to implement the Great Hunger, Wildfire, and more. One of the first items included with seeds is the Crushing Stone and Crushing Obsidian, which can be used alongside equipment to recycle them, giving you materials in return. Tools can also be made from flint now, with them being similar to iron tools, but they'll have less durability, and they have a chance of cooking or smelting anything the player breaks. When using bone meal, you now have a chance of spawning bad grass, a hostile mob that will attack you and destroy your crops. So instead, you can now use a watering can which contains bone meal diluted in water, which applies the bone meal effect without the repercussions. You can also build a mud golem with the carved pumpkin and dirt block, which attacks bad grass and creepers. Another mechanic is that items on the ground turn into waste, which is a hostile mob, so make sure you don't litter. Eventually, you'll obtain garbage, which can be turned into repairers, which repairs equipment you're holding over time. Finally, there's now pollution in the world, which determines your hunger and health. Activities like smelting in a furnace increases pollution and decreases when trees are grown, or you can use a vacuum cleaner. These are the basics of the mod, but there's a lot more. Cave Rats adds 4 new rats into Minecraft, which can spawn at different height levels, as well as in different biomes. They can't be tamed, only slain for their meat and fur. Rat meat can be cooked and eaten, whereas their fur can be turned into leather or string. You're Seeing Dungeons is a work in progress and is going to add multiple dungeons to your world, which are made up of a few new blocks and mobs. Now, with it being early on, there does seem to be some issues I've found that structures can spawn at weird positions, but lots of new mobs are included with the mod, like eager creatures, hermit skeletons, and shadow desert pillagers, and the structures are still nicely built. I like the direction the mod is going in, but it definitely needs a wiki and some documentation once it's complete. There is some progression to the mod, as well as unique items like spells, tokens, and new equipment, so it might be worth keeping an eye on as updates are released. This mod adds some furniture into Minecraft. Currently, it only includes chairs, tables, shelves, and stools, with each of them giving some different styles. They're functional too, so you can sit down on the seats or display items on the shelves. Overall, they look great, and make use of connected textures too. With Gold Rush installed, you can find gold inside of sand, so start searching oceans and rivers with a shovel. Gold sheets can be crafted from 3 gold nuggets, and then used to create some new blocks, like gold bricks, glass, stairs, and slabs. With blocks of gold, gold ingots, gold nuggets, and gold sheets, you'll be able to craft a golden golem as well. When these are summoned, they'll wander around and protect your base from hostile creatures. But they're not the smartest either. They'll also chase rabbits to try to hug them, so it might be worth setting up a perimeter. Player Tabs adds tabs into your inventory, giving you access to more storage without having to deal with backpack mods. By default, there's 3 tabs, but this can be changed with a command. You're also able to rename tabs using commands, and typing in the name of a Minecraft item will give it an icon instead, so it's a pretty convenient and useful mod for inventory management. Mushlings are new creatures which can be found in Minecraft's dark forest and mushroom-filled biomes. They really like water and will plant a magic root after being given water from a bucket. Once the magic root is grown, it can be harvested and eaten to grant the haste 4 effects for 5 minutes. Mushlings can be given water once a day. Better Village will eventually overhaul all of Minecraft's villages, but right now it only changes those in the plains and desert biomes. All of the buildings have been reworked, giving them a lot more detail and style, which makes a nice change. Some additional buildings are added too, like farms, barns, and windmills. I really like the look of desert villages, which feel a lot more alive thanks to all the leaves and trees. In the future, we'll hopefully see updates to the savanna, taiga, and snowy villages too. Special Drops adds over 60 items, which can be dropped from many of Minecraft's mobs. There's 5 rarities, which are common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. Legendary items have a 0.2% chance of dropping, whereas common items have a 3% chance. Each of these items have their own effect, whether they're worn, held, or used. A lot of them just give effects, like resistances, fortune, and haste, whereas some items will apply levitation to enemies, launch enemies into the air, or apply fire to attacks. You can find a complete list of items and what they do on the mods page. Integrated Dungeon and Structures is interesting, as it adds new locations that don't rely on vanilla Minecraft. That's because it requires mods like Create, Quark, and Alex's mobs to add more life and variety to the dungeons. Some of these structures are huge, and you can often find some lore attached to them. Places like the Pillager Fortress are massive and are going to take a while to completely clear out. But you can really see how blocks from these other mods really make the structures feel new and not repetitive at all. Currently, you can find the Abandoned House, Ancient Mines, Brick House, Castle, Cottage, Enchanting Tower, Haunted House, Labyrinth, Pillager Fortress, and Wizard Tower. In the future, the developer plans to add more dungeons, including in other dimensions, as well as new village variants. Some changes I really like come with natural decoration. With it installed, you'll find more natural items spawning, like sticks, mushrooms, acorns, and more. They can be broken to give vanilla items like saplings and wood, though the mod did recently add some animals too, like snails and some birds. So it's a small and simple mod, which makes some really noticeable changes. With this mod installed, you'll be able to create timber frame from lots of different woods, including those in the Nether. This mod also relies on you having the Connected Textures mod installed. When you have these timber frames, you can create a broad knife from 3 iron ingots and a stick. By sneaking and right-clicking with a broad knife equipped, you can switch between different patterns. Then right-click on a timber frame to apply it, and you'll now be able to create some more detailed designs. There's slightly more to the mod, and you can see a quick guide by pressing the H key. That's the end of our list. I've covered tons more mods for this version of Minecraft, which should be on the screen right now. And if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the latest Minecraft mods, data packs, and texture packs.